Hey guys, we are back again. Finally, it's been a while, and I've got the lavalier mic on again. A lot of the videos I've been doing haven't had the lavalier mic on, so it might have sounded a little bit different. And we've got our tripod back, so we're going to try to do a loquat pie. So we just picked these fresh from our tree. Probably have to pick some that have some bad spots out of them, but they are between sour and sweet here. Randomly, you know, the most ripe ones are really sweet, and the ones that are least ripe are almost like lemons. So I just put them in some cold water, and it looks like we got a possibly bad floater there. Just to try to get the dirt off of them, and I may even rinse them after I cut them. But let's see what happens. As of right now, I don't even know what kind of recipe I'm going to use. So I'll look it up after I get done cutting these guys up and see what they look like. All right, so I'm cutting the little bloom end off, I think. Well, let's see, what's the best way to do the de-seeding? Maybe just by pushing it out with your finger.
Daddy, I like that.
There's number one. How many more do we have left to go? So I changed bowls here so I can kind of just do this and get the bad stuff directly, you know, that we cut off right into the bowl there. One, two, I guess this inner part here, oh, wow, 3 seeds, that one's hidden. I guess that inner part's probably not the best either.
Daddy?
This might take a while to individually clean all these guys.
Daddy?
So I'm not going to make everybody watch this. This would take a long time and take even longer trying to video it, but oop, there we go. Again, I'm not sure if that inner sheath or whatever that is going to add some weird texture to it or not. So I'll get back when I'm done. So this is our seeds, bad ones, are, you know, the black blossom ends, stems and stuff like that. So probably a good 4 or 5 pounds. And these are what we got, probably about 6 cups, and they're already starting to turn a little bit brown despite having been ice water. All right, whoop. We got all those loquats here. Got a big giant pan because I think our small mixing bowl just isn't going to do it. Kind of look in there like that and see. There's the loquats. 1 cup of sugar. Now the recipe I'm looking at says 1/2 to 3/4 cup of water, but I've soaked these guys several times, and they probably do have, you know, despite straining them, having some water in. So I'm going to go a little bit less than 1/2 cup here. 4 tablespoons flour, and 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. All right, so 1/4 teaspoon of ginger. People hear you, JJ. They hear you all over the world that you're playing around. 1/4 teaspoon of cloves. Now I don't have allspice, so I think I'm going to put some pumpkin spice for the next quarter. But the recipe calls for allspice. Just put a pinch of salt here, not much. It just calls for 1/8 of a teaspoon. And we're getting 1 teaspoon of vanilla here. So I totally screwed this recipe up. I was supposed to put the dry ingredients in after we cooked the loquats for about 15 minutes with just the water to tenderize them. But let's see if this just makes a runny mess or if this will work this way too. So we put it on medium heat, and I guess we wait for it to simmer or something. There we go. So I'm trying not to stir all the dry ingredients in yet till those loquats really have time to soften up a little bit. But man, it smells like really spicy already. All right, we're gonna try to mix it here, and I'm trying to hold this camera steady, the tripod, because I got it kind of in the air, and as I move it, I'm sure you see this guy move around quite a bit. So hopefully the loquats have had a little bit of time to soften, and now maybe with all the dry ingredients mixed in here, it'll kind of thicken it up some. So this stuff definitely went down a lot. Like, it, you know, it's 6 or 8 cups of loquats is huge when you put it. You know, you cut them up and measure them out in a measuring cup, but it goes down a lot. And now the smell reminds me of homemade apple pie filling. It's definitely thickened up a lot, and you're supposed to do it 15 minutes and before you add the flour and the dry ingredients, and then another 15 minutes after, and then you put it in the oven. So yeah, I was like, how are you using all of these for one pie? This has to be at least 2 pies worth. Alright, we got kids driving us crazy, but hopefully the filling is done. It's definitely thickened up a lot. So check this out. It definitely reminds me of apple pie. The smell and all, at least. Now what we don't have here is a lattice top. Wasn't prepared. We didn't know what recipe we were going to use until the last minute, and we screwed it up majorly. So that's what it looks like before we put it in the oven, and it might still kind of look the same when we're done. We'll see. Now I did taste the filling, and it definitely tastes like it smells like apple pie a lot without the crunch. Now I also see another reason why you would want to mix the dry ingredients in later is some of the spices clumped together, and I had to kind of pick out the really big clumps. So it's probably not going to be as good as if I would have did it right, but it should be pretty close. We're going to put it in here at 450, and the kids are trying to kill each other, so let's just hope for the best on all accounts. Here it is, fresh out of the oven.
What Paw Patrol?
So we had a little bite while it was still warm last night, and I had a little bite this morning since it was been refrigerated. As you can see, it's a little runny and thick, but it's not too bad. Definitely thickened up. And when I said it smelled like apple pie, that's kind of what it tastes like. So there's not the crunch there, obviously, because loquat skin's kind of soft. Sort of looks like muscadine skins there, you know, and you kind of get that immediate filling feel or whatever, that it could be like a muscadine skin, but they're so much softer, not chewy, not leathery. So are the skins off-putting? Kind of yes, kind of no, but you know, it's, if you had a crunch there to go along with that, I think it would be perfect. So because we had the dry ingredients cooking in with the loquats, you know, initially, it's a little less concentrated, the spices, but despite that, it still seems like there is a lot of spice flavor here. So I don't even know if I would put that many spices in there. Is it worth spending, like, you know, 2 hours on a single pie to do this? Well, when we used our small mulberries to make a mulberry pie, it took way longer than that to pick all those mulberries. And also, I guess there's a trade-off with many things, unless you do go with a traditional apple pie or something with really large fruits on it. Anyway, there are larger fruited like cultivars of loquats, and then you can also prune the tree, you know, like thin the fruits as well to make the fruits bigger, supposedly. I don't know how many of those larger fruited cultivars survive in the South, but yeah, if you had one the size of like a golf ball or a tennis ball or maybe an apple or something, it would take so much less to make it, so much less cleaning and all. But hey, you know, if apples aren't in season and you have nothing else, do this. You know, most people don't use pesticides or any kind of inorganic sprays or anything on their loquats. They just exist wherever you planted them. So they're pretty much organic, pesticide free. You know, if you're into that kind of lifestyle, go pick them in the wild or pick them somewhere and just make you a pie, jams, jellies, whatever, and see if you like it. All right, guys, take care.